Coming up, the call to ban greyhound racing in Queensland has again brought together a chorus of voices. Ipswich Labor MP Jennifer Howard has renewed her efforts to introduce a total ban on this form of racing. Jennifer Howard joins this episode. It's Monday, August 10, 2026, and I'm Allan Roebuck. Welcome to Ipswich Today. This podcast acknowledges traditional owners and their connection to lands and waters we share. Ipswich Today is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. Member for Ipswich Jennifer Howard has again been in the news, calling for a total ban on greyhound racing in Queensland. On Saturday, August 1, a rally was held in Brisbane where she spoke along with a number of others. This interview was recorded on August 6. The new Q racing complex at Perga is now open. You opposed it before it was built when in government. Why the renewed push to ban greyhound racing?
Look, New Zealand, as you know, banned it as of their 31st of July. There's no more greyhound racing. Some of the groups, the lobby groups who've been lobbying for decades, like groups like Animal Welfare League Queensland, Animal Kind, they decided to have a rally on the 1st of August to help sort of celebrate New Zealand's decision and to also, remind Queenslanders that we're at risk of becoming an outlier if we don't start looking at phasing out greyhound racing.
In very simple terms, you're calling for a ban. How would that be phased in, or how would it work exactly?
Well, we've seen, we see Tasmania in the process of phasing it out now over a 5-year period. I guess that just, all of the people who work in the industry are very important to me, and I want to make sure that they're not left without a job. So we need to have a period of time whereby these people are able to sort of transition out. Obviously, my overarching vision is just how useful that facility could be for our community.
We'll come to what it might be in the future, but since the rally on August 1, Labor Deputy Leader Cameron Dick has said the party will still support greyhound racing. How do you reconcile that with your view?
Well, I'm a very proud member of the party. Labor has an unmatched track record of delivering major infrastructure projects right across Queensland. But here in Ipswich, they have supported this community, for the 10 years that I was in, from 2015 until we lost government in 24, unprecedented funding for this area. So I'm a very proud member of the Labor Party. And the journalist who initially reported on my speech at the rally was a little bit naughty. He sort of, said that I was calling on the party. I made it very clear that I was speaking for myself. As you said earlier, it is my long-held view that greyhound racing is an industry that's cruel, and that I'd like to see the back of it actually in Queensland in general. But I made it very clear that I was speaking for myself. I wasn't calling on the party to do anything. There's a process that has to occur internally for a decision like that to be made. But, I think my views are echoed by a lot of people in the community, a lot of people in the Western world. We look at the United States. A bit over 10 years ago, they had 70 tracks across 19 states, and now they've got one. Wow. So, it's ending in the Western world where, greyhound racing is, it's certainly a sport that, community expectations have changed. And, I remember being a little girl going to the greyhound races with my granddad, up in Mackay where I grew up. And, it was just a part of the thing that we did. But like a lot of things historically, people change, awareness grows. And, people can see that this is actually an industry that is extremely harmful, not just the gambling side of it, but, the animal abuse side of it. It's horrendous.
Let's talk about the Q complex at Perga. As it was being designed, built There were big statements saying it was designed with safety in mind. Since it opened, they had a temporary closure because of the, not unprecedented, but certainly an alarming number of greyhound deaths. There's even been rumours of major design flaws. One that came to the surface was the uneven watering of the track. Do you know of any other issues that have been found or fixed?
It's extremely hard to get information from them. As you know, the industry is regulated by itself. There's not a lot of public information available, unfortunately. But we do know that it was touted, as you say, as being, the safest track in Queensland, that it was going to resolve all of those, issues that we were seeing at the former greyhound racing site at the showgrounds, and it hasn't. So I think if you're asking dogs to run at speeds of up to 70 kilometres an hour, sometimes, doing sharp turns, when they have an injury, which is inevitable, their injury is catastrophic. And I think that, when we're talking about safety, it's not the infrastructure that's the problem, it's the actual sport itself.
You did hint just a couple of minutes ago that the Kew complex could be repurposed. What could it become after taxpayers spent nearly $90 million on it?
Well, we've seen other facilities in Queensland, like in Townsville, where they had the harness racing that ended, and then it became the Cowboy Stadium. I think that the Kew could be utilised for many things. We need major sporting infrastructure in this community. We have some extraordinary athletes coming out of Ipswich, but we have very few facilities for them to train on. I would love to see something like that occur. Obviously, open to other suggestions, but basically any facility that can benefit the community. I don't see a lot of benefits coming out of the Kew.
And finally, Jennifer Howard, are you hopeful you can change Labor Party policy in the future?
Look, I know that there's a lot of people in the Labor Party who feel the same way that I do, but these are decisions that are made, through the party processes, through our platform, through state conferences, and they are for a broader discussion across the party. The Labor Party is a broad church, and we all have our own opinions about things, and my opinion is that greyhound racing is a cruel industry, and I would like to see it phased out. It feels personal for me because the Kew is in my electorate. And, I've been put in a situation really by having it in my electorate where, I've been forced to sort of speak publicly about it. And the truth is I would really rather see anything there rather than a greyhound track.
Jennifer Howard, we'll leave it there. Thanks for speaking with Ipswich Today. And that is it for this episode. A reminder, you will find a bunch of handy links in the show notes. Ipswich Today is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. This podcast is also listener-supported. Please make a once-only gift or regular donation to help keep it online. Visit ipswichtoday.com.au and click Donate. Follow and stream where you get podcasts, including the iHeart app, or play Ipswich Today on smart speakers. This is Allan Roebuck. Thank you for listening. Enjoying Ipswich Today? Please share the love on your socials.